Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Aaron Gordon here, and we are back here with the Aaron Gordon podcast. I have my special guest here, Trippy Lynn. She has been on, a number of different my other platforms. But overall, how's everything going? And how's just your music career been?
Everything's going good, and as far as the music, we just still keeping it rolling.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what have you been up to in terms of the past couple of months? Obviously quarantine hit. How did you get? What was your entire mindset going through the quarantine process?
I actually think I made some of my best music during COVID, the quarantine thing. Just because I was going through a lot of stuff, and I made sure I just wrote everything down. But I also came up with a lot of ideas outside of music during COVID and stuff. So I'm just really trying to put everything together right now.
So, like, what type of music have you, you said that you came out with a lot of other things outside of music. What kind of stuff, have you, found interest in?
Just a lot of different ideas as far as branding. I did want to roll out my own clothing line, but I think I'm going to wait on that. Just like with investing in stocks, I just really been looking into a lot of different things.
So how are you going to go about that process for, getting your own merchandise? And did you want to create like your own store, or did you want to have like an online boutique? How did you want to go about it?
It was just a lot of ideas that I came up with. Because if I do a clothing line, it probably won't be anything with Trippy Lynn. But I will have merchandise as far as Trippy Lynn and the whole brand. But if I do a clothing line, I just want it to be something like, really fashionable and nothing that, it's not going to be a whole bunch of stuff that say Trippy Lynn. It's just going to be like different designs. I also want someone to make it for me versus, buying stuff online and recreating it.
Surprisingly, I've known you for a couple of years. This is actually the first time I've actually seen you wear a light color. You're always wearing, darker colors like purple, black, darker blue, What was up with that? I haven't seen you. Is this like kind of like a change for you?
I think it's really with the seasons. I noticed that I do wear a lot of darker clothes in the winter. But just right now, I have been wearing a lot of lighter clothes recently, even in my videos and stuff, just coming more out of the black. But I love black. That's still my favorite thing to wear, is all black.
So obviously, for most people that know you, they know that you're an Indianapolis artist. I mean, obviously, I've thought about moving other places when I get older. What was your plans here, the next couple of years about, your location, where you're going to be at? We'll get on to the second question, but, what's your thoughts on that here, the next couple of years?
I am looking to relocate, but it's still a lot of stuff that I want to do in Indianapolis and for Indianapolis, but I do plan on relocating within the next year or two.
Do you know where at?
I've been looking at Atlanta, of course, but I've heard a lot of good things about Houston, Texas as well. So
I actually really like Houston. Obviously, my brother plays there. I really like Houston. Me personally, I would choose Houston over Atlanta, especially, over the past, like how I've seen it grow over the past couple of years. I mean, Atlanta is a unique place. Obviously, the black population is very high there, but same thing in Houston. There's a huge black population. It's very culturally diverse. What are some of the things that you're hearing about Houston?
Well, wherever I want to go, it's going to be for music, of course. So I just heard there's a lot of good opportunities down there. But there's also a lot of good opportunities in Atlanta as well, too. So I'm just really stuck right now, just trying to figure out my next move.
Have you thought about any other places?
I actually thought about a lot of places, but if I'm thinking about, like, as far as making anything make sense, that's where I'm at right now. Of course, we all want to go to Cali, New York. I would love to do that, but...
Why haven't you went the Cali route?
Cali's expensive.
Yeah, a lot of people say that. So, if you did think about the Cali route, you were thinking LA? Yeah,
LA.
For sure.
I have a lot of family in Cali, so...
Have you ever thought about, why don't people talk about Northern California? Do you not like Northern California quite as much?
I don't really know too much about, like, California unless it's LA or, the popular cities and stuff. But I do want to go there. I would love to move to Cali, but as far as like taking steps, like step by step, that's probably going to be later on.
It's interesting. Why do you think a lot of artists don't want to move to New York? I mean, that's where, rap, in terms of just music in general, that's the number one place in the world. I mean, in terms of music and fashion. Why do you think people aren't dying to move there?
Again, I think it's just money.
Yeah.
I feel like if you had the money to go wherever you want to go, you're going to go there.
Yeah.
If I had the money to go to New York, I would definitely be in New York.
So you would choose New York over LA?
Yeah. When I first started doing music, the first time I ever heard from somebody big was in New York.
Who was that?
To come to New York. It was a record label called Reach for Gold. And they just told me, like, you would be a good fit here in New York.
Are you still with the record label?
No.
Why have you chosen to go?
I'm independent.
Yeah, why have you chosen to go independent?
I just think it's because it's all about the right. If I do sign a record label sometime in the future, it just has to be right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I write my own music, I create my own music, and I don't want that taken away from me. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think like that's going to be like a big trend? Because I know like Kehlani, she did a full entire podcast about owning everything, owning your beats, owning your music, owning everything that you do. Is that the type of approach that you want, or is it just you want to get started out and then possibly move into different things, or what's your whole spiel on that?
As far as owning my own stuff, I do want to take that route. I feel like I just want to do what's best for me and what's best for the brand and what I get the most out of.
Mm-hmm.
I do in the future when I own my masters, my own label.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that route if it's handed to me.
So how do you think you would go about that? Would you go back to school and get all the business stuff taken care of, or would you want to just partner with someone, or would you want to, how are you going to go about, doing all that?
I would probably partner with somebody. I'm really looking for a team right now. So much stuff isn't on me, but probably find a solid team, build that foundation, and just go from there.
So obviously, you talk a little bit about stocks. I know some people, everyone's a master at stocks and they make $1 from it. But how did you get into it? What was your process like getting into it? Because I know everyone has a little bit of a different story. I know a lot of people are just getting all these crazy stock videos on Instagram and Twitter, and like I don't want to hear about that no more. But how did you get into it?
I've heard word of mouth about stocks and how you should invest while you're young, blah blah blah. I wasn't interested in it at first. And just like when I started learning a couple things and just seeing how it worked, I started becoming interested. And I'm really interested in like the cannabis market, just for when they do eventually legalize weed everywhere. I do kind of want to have my hand in that somewhere.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that are in that market. What makes you want to own that? Like, do you like, obviously, for people who are like that, they obviously support it, but what about that business really makes you really want to, push more into it?
If I was to freely give away my money into something that I believe in or see growth in, it would be the cannabis market. I think a lot of people like weed, and the fact that they are legalizing it, state by state, I think it'd be something that I can see myself actually paying attention to, keeping up with, and see where my money's going.
Mm-hmm.
Just to learn more about, different things. I don't think cannabis would be the only thing I would invest in. That's just like what I really been studying as far as stocks and stuff.
So, overall, it was so funny because it was like a week after my Aaron Gordon News interview, which was like, 2 or 3 years ago. And the funniest thing is right after that, I had a birthday party at Blue Lounge, and that just closed down. And like, what was that process like, having to talk about, that experience for you, making that music video? Obviously, it shut down, but what was that entire process like? Because we didn't get to talk about that because that was like 1 week after that podcast.
I think Blue is still one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite song because like I have like a connection because like that was actually the first time I was ever legal and I could actually go into a club. Like that was my first, so I really connected with that.
Probably me too. That was just my favorite club at the time. That's just where I feel like I fit in a lot up there. I just like the vibe. I like the atmosphere in there. And then, because when I released Blue, I recorded that song like 2 years before.
Really?
Yeah, so, which is why it came out after the club was closed. And I did the video for Blue at a different club.
Yeah.
Because it had just closed down. And I didn't want to throw that song away.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't throw this song away. Like, I know it's probably not going to make sense to a lot of people, but yeah, that's probably still one of my favorite songs. But yeah, R.I.P. Club Blue.
So obviously, you're around Indianapolis a lot. What's the club scene like? Obviously, I'm not here, but what's the club scene like? Have you been out to many clubs? Since obviously COVID has shut things down, but even before, like what's the club scene like in Indianapolis, especially for people that haven't been here?
I think there are so many fun places and fun clubs in Indy. I haven't been to them all.
Name your top three clubs in Indy.
Top 3 clubs in Indy.
It could be lounges, bars. It doesn't just have to be just straight
like strip
nightclubs.
clubs.
Anything.
And stuff. Okay.
Matter of fact, give me top 5. Anything.
Top 5. Blue would have been like my 1 or 2, of course. I like Fusion. I like the vibe there. What else? Tiki's. I love Tiki's.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
Love Tiki's. I actually shouted them out in a new song I got too. Pure Passion, definitely top 4 or 5. What's another club that I like? I don't just say clubs. I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
I'm trying to think like
Number 5. Anywhere in Briar Ripple?
Oh.
Anywhere downtown?
I like Briar Ripple. Where do I go? Lava's cool.
Lava. So
Lava's
Lava's going to finish out the top 5.
I forgot about Lava. They're up there. I like the Egyptian Room. They just a hookah bar. They cool. They got the food, the hookah. I like clubs. I like clubs that have hookah and they also play good music. So.
So what music are you listening to now, obviously, other than yours? Who's your favorite up-and-coming artist, just around, or it could just be, national artists, whoever that you like or whoever that you've heard?
I'm a fan of, I've been on the Pooh Shiesty wave. I know that probably sounds cliche, but he's real good. He's talented. I like, who do I play on the aux when I guitar? Pooh Shiesty. I really listen to a lot of my music. That's why I'm trying to figure out who else do I listen to. I like Meg. I like Meg Thee Stallion. Shot Glizzy. That's one of my favorites. Besides Drake, everybody loves Drake. I don't know. I would have to go through my phone and just go through my Apple Music, see who I really vibe with.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'll be honest, that's definitely a tough one.
It's so many new artists though. It's like 10 new artists every week.
Yeah.
That's popping.
So you think like that's a little bit of an issue when it comes to, rap? Because I think one thing that a lot of people are talking about now is like people are here to dang on tomorrow a lot when it comes to rap, because a lot of people, kind of gravitate to one versus some of the other genres. People kind of hold on to a certain group and then they continue to follow their career. Do you think like that's an issue, or you just think like that's how it's going to be?
I don't know. That's just what it is right now. I don't want the industry to get so far off track that talent isn't recognized anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the new artists, of course, but I still like good music with good lyrics and not so much of a gimmick and not so much. I'm old fashioned. I just like good rap music. You know what I'm saying?
So overall, this is gonna be a tough one. Top 5 of your favorite artists of all time.
All time. Pop, probably number 1. Jeezy.
Jeezy number 2, right or not?
I don't even know if it's in order.
Okay, just give me top 5. No order.
Okay, Wayne, of course. Nicki, of course.
So you said Nicki, Pac, Wayne, Jeezy. That's 4. One more. Last spot.
Drake is definitely in my top 5, but that's the whole Young Money in the top 5. So I just need.
So Drake's your 5th or no? Or you want to put someone else
Who'd
in
I
there?
say? Tupac.
So you said Pac, Jeezy, Nicki, Wayne, and Drake.
Yeah, those are probably my most inspirational.
Most inspirational. For me, that's a tough one. Top 5. I haven't even done this list. I don't even know why I've even asked you that because I haven't even done this. I would say for me, I would say Kanye. Not number 1. I'm just list 5. Kanye, Jay-Z, Drake, Tupac. Ooh, this is gonna be tough. I'm gonna hurt some people's feelings, but I might have to put Eminem in my top 5. Maybe.
That's not too far off.
Yeah, I don't know. Eminem is one of my favorites. I mean, I just don't foresee anybody outside of there. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people like Biggie, but for me, I didn't really relate to him quite as much. I
started liking Biggie after the fact.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I mean, whenever you start talking about top 5 lists, you're kicking out people. It's really tough. It's really tough. So overall, like, who do you think that you sound most like, or do you think you have your own unique sound, or is there anybody that you would say, okay, I kind of compare to her?
I always try to have my own sound, just so that's where it really makes you stand out.
Has anyone ever told you Deja Lo? Because I was listening to one of your songs, and one of my friends was like, oh, she sounds like Deja Lo, and I'm like, I kind of hear it, but not really.
I think I can see why people would say that.
Yeah.
I like Deja Lo. People do tell me I remind them of Deja Lo.
Yeah, I think the vibe does a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think you sound like her quite as much.
I don't think I sound like Deja Lo, but I think I can see where people make the comparisons.
Yeah. So how do you like, like artist comparisons? Do you not really care for them, or do you like them, or?
It's not really a thing for me because, people never really say I sound like anybody. It's always, you got your own style or whatever. And that's always the goal. So when I do hear comparisons, I'll be like, okay, I can see that.
So what do you think your environment has played into your, your music career in general?
I think my entire environment even led me to rapping. Just where I grew up, moving around so much when I was a kid, losing my father. I think a lot of things really played a part to lead me to go pick up a pen and like, okay, I need to just write something down, I need to express myself. Yeah. I don't think I ever sat down and was like, oh, I'm about to be a rapper, I'm about to start rapping. I just really sat down one day and was just like, start writing stuff.
So obviously, before camera, you talked about, taking a break and how that has helped you. How would you explain that to other people who aren't necessarily in your position, or for some people that are in your position, what, taking a break has done, for your entire music career, for your vibe, for everything, just taking a break from just releasing stuff and, kind of just focusing more on you. How's that, affected you?
I really just needed to take a break because I wanted to move different with the music because, it's one thing to know how to rap, cool, it's one thing to drop songs, but it's just stuff that I really started noticing, like, okay, I'm not even pushing my music. I think with me, it was just like, ooh, yeah, this song hard, I know this is a good song, I'm about to drop it, then I drop it, and then I just sit back and wait. Like, that's really not how it works.
Yeah.
So I just really had to study some more and figure out, okay, what am I doing wrong? Learning about networking and marketing and stuff like that. and just allowing opportunities to come to me as well.
So what do you have, next going in your future? Obviously, we're getting kind of out of a pandemic right now. We're still in it, but it's not. I'll be honest. I've seen a huge jump in the past month. I'm not sure if other people have felt that where they're at. I know if you're in Houston or Atlanta, you probably never felt like there was a pandemic,
Right.
but definitely in a lot of other places, you're definitely seeing things open back up. It's starting to get warm again. What do you have planned? Are you going to start doing shows again? Are you going to start, doing, other things? I mean, obviously, we're getting more out of just stay at home. So, what do you have planned?
I do have some stuff planned. I'm looking forward to dropping a tape this spring or summer. I want to do that. I also want to do my videos, and I want to travel. That's my main thing that I want to do.
So obviously we know you're going to travel to Atlanta, more than likely Houston. Are there any other cities that you're going to travel to this summer?
I really want to,
Chicago?
because I'm from the Midwest, so I really need the Midwest audience. So I really want to, go to Chicago, Kentucky, Ohio, the surrounding states.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do before I do anything else. Just build an audience and a fan base.
I know like
make sure the people in the Midwest rocking with me first.
Yeah, I know like Louisville is starting to get really big. They got Jack Harlow, they got Bryson Tiller. They have a lot of really good up and coming artists. I mean, just like now, a lot of those up and coming artists are very established. And how has that been? People don't even talk about Louisville, but Louisville is really close. Like people don't even realize like it's like an hour and 30 minutes away.
Yeah, it is.
So like is that an avenue that you plan to take? Going down to Louisville, because they actually have a really big, hip hop and R&B fan base, especially R&B, surprisingly.
Yeah, especially having Bryson Tiller and stuff like that. He also came out of there.
They've had a number more, but those are the guys that really excelled, over the course of the last 3-4 years.
I like a lot of artists coming from Kentucky. I was just watching a Bryson Tiller interview.
Yeah, I was watching it too. Yeah.
He was basically saying like when he dropped his song that I think it was "Don't."
Yeah. He was working at Papa John's.
Yeah, and he also like didn't really have a fan base where he was from, and I think I focus on that a lot. Like, I need my city to rock with me, or whatever. But sometimes it don't really always work that way. But I think the artists in Kentucky, I just will have to go down there and see like what's down there for me, and how can I work with these other people, and just seeing what opportunities they have.
So how do you think the opportunities are in Indiana? Like, do you think there's enough, or it's kind of
I think it could be more.
Yeah.
The opportunities in Indies are like, of course we're all blessed for any opportunity we get, but I think sometimes it's like a circle.
Yeah.
In Indy, like you can only get so far. So I'm really just trying to branch out a little more.
Do you think branching out is going to really push your career forward, or do you think like it's more of a mental thing for you? Do you think it's more of a stat driven? Okay, if I move to one of these cities and I'm really going to blow up, or do you think it's a better vibe? It's going to be better. There's going to be more support. Which one do you think it's going to be more of?
I think both. I know sometimes it's hard for me to do a lot of stuff that I want to do here, just from the lack of support. But there's a lot of people that support me here. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I also do want to move, just for the vibes and just more opportunity to be in more people's face. Do more club shows, more open mics.
Do you think that we have enough of that in Indianapolis? I've always said I don't think that we have enough open mics. Just like there's no comedy shows, there's no open mics, there's no opportunity for artists to really excel other than like the absolute, mecca of having a full concert. That's the issue that I've always had, and those are really expensive to do. And you have to have the right team, you have to have the right thing. So if you are a really good artist and you have really good music that you want to share, it's hard to just share it other than just kind of just a bootleg way of just singing on Instagram or just singing at maybe a local bar or something. I think it's really hard.
I think Indy is a growing state. Like,
I
think we're getting there. I think we're just now really starting to see because there are a lot of open mics. I think
I'm not saying there's none, but there's not a lot.
Happen,
yeah,
you know
like
what I'm saying?
you go.
But
to,
I think we got so much stuff to do. Like we
yeah.
got way more stuff we need to do. Way more activities. I can definitely see the growth from the past couple years to now. There's a lot of doors opening in Indy. I just feel like we're still growing. Like we're not where we need to be, but I do feel like we are making progress.
Well, what I'm saying is I'm like, if you look at it, you know, Cincinnati, they have a lot of different places where people can do open mics, not just, you know, 2 or 3 places. And like I said, I've always talked about the black community in terms of places for black people to go. I've always said there's not enough black places for black people to go in Indianapolis. Like you can talk about nightclubs, you go to Lava, you go to maybe the Egyptian Room. Like there's like obviously there's places for people to go, but the black community very small. And I think like that's the same when it comes to music and other things. Have you felt that too?
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't really. I guess I try not to think about like the negatives too much. I mean, because I can sit around all day like, oh, this is, you know, but that's not going to get me anywhere.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But overall, like I said, you know, what do you have next in your career? And I always like to end off my interviews like, what would you tell anyone in your situation? You know, what would you tell yourself here in the next couple months on, you know, what you are trying to accomplish?
Right now, I guess I'm working towards minor goals that eventually lead to, I think my biggest goal, of course, is success.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of milestones I have to hit first. What I would tell anybody in this position, keep going, keep learning. You know, don't ever think you know it all. Go out, meet new people. Always be a student to the game. You know, I watch interviews and I still listen to albums from the 90s. I listen to rap albums from the 80s. You know, just to see different stuff and learn new things. But yeah, just keep going and believe in yourself. You know, don't wait on nobody else to believe in you. Just you gotta believe in yourself first. And as far as future plans for me, I want to do some more shows and I want to drop music. That's all I want to do. Make good music, drop shows, give this whatever I can to the world.